Blessings to you, precious soul. Right now, in this very moment, the angels are surrounding you with a light so warm and so real that if you close your eyes, you might just feel it on your skin. You were not brought here by accident. You were guided here by something greater than chance, by a love that moves through the spiritual realm and finds you exactly where you are. Welcome to Angel's Message for You channel. This space was created for you, for the moments when your heart needs to hear something true, something that cuts through the noise of everyday life and speaks directly to the deepest part of who you are. Before you go any further, the angels are asking you to stop for just a moment. Take a breath. Let your shoulders drop, because what you are about to hear was prepared specifically for you, and it carries a message that could completely shift the way you understand everything you have been feeling lately. That quiet ache, that sense of waiting for something you cannot quite name, that feeling like something beautiful is just around the corner, and yet somehow still just out of reach. If any of that sounds familiar, you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. Stay with this all the way to the end. The angels save the most important part for those who are willing to receive the full message. Do not close this out early. What is waiting for you at the end is something your soul genuinely needs to hear. Now let the angels speak. There is someone in this world who thinks about you, not in a fleeting, surface-level way. Not the way people think about a song they heard once and kind of liked. This person thinks about you the way the tide thinks about the shore, with a pull that is constant, deep, and impossible to reason away. You live in this person's heart like a quiet truth that was always there, even before they fully understood what it meant. And this person has been dreaming, not just daydreaming in idle moments, but dreaming with the full weight of intention and longing. They have imagined a real, genuine commitment, not just the highlight reel of romance, not just the beautiful days when everything is easy and the light is good and laughter comes without effort. This person has imagined the whole thing, the ordinary evenings, the difficult conversations, the times when life asks more than feels fair, and the only thing that holds you through it is knowing the person beside you is not going anywhere. They have imagined looking into your eyes in one of those profound, life-changing moments and saying with every fiber of their being, yes. Yes, I want this. Yes, I want you. Yes, I choose to walk through every day of my life alongside you. That is the depth of what is being held for you. And yet, right now, you may not feel it. You may be sensing a strange kind of distance, an absence that you cannot quite explain. Perhaps it feels like something important is slipping away. Perhaps you have caught yourself wondering if the love you feel reaching for is real, or if it is just something your heart invented to comfort itself during a hard season. The angels hear that wondering. They see it, and they want you to know what you are sensing is real. But it is not what you think it is. What you are feeling is not abandonment. It is not the universe pulling something beautiful away from you. What you are feeling, beloved, is preparation. And there is a world of difference between those two things. The person whose heart holds you so tenderly is in the middle of a season of releasing. Not releasing you, never you. They are releasing everything else. Everything that would stand between them and the love they are meant to live with you. Old ties that once felt important but no longer carry any real peace. Friendships that were built on convenience or habit or a version of this person that no longer fully exists. Environments that carry the energy of who they used to be rather than who they are becoming. Thought patterns and emotional habits that made sense once, in a different chapter, but that have no place in the life they are building now. Take a quick second before we move forward. Many channels are reposting and copying our content, but authentic energy cannot be duplicated. For the strongest positive connection and divine guidance, always listen from the original angel's message for you channel with the black logo base. Now, let's continue with the message your angels want you to hear. None of this is easy. The angels want to be honest with you about that. Letting go is not easy, even when you know with complete clarity that what you are letting go of no longer belongs. There is grief in it. There is a kind of loneliness that comes from clearing out the old before the new has fully arrived. There are days when this person looks around at the spaces they have deliberately emptied and wonders if they made the right choice. If the love they are preparing for is truly coming. If the sacrifice is worth it. And then something happens. A feeling, a quiet inner knowing, a dream, a moment of sudden clarity, and they remember. They remember that yes, it is worth it. They remember that the love they feel reaching toward you is not an illusion. It is a truth their soul has carried long before their mind caught up to it. And they continue. They keep choosing. They keep releasing. They keep clearing the path. Think about what that means for a moment. Think about what it costs a person to walk away from things that were once comforting, even when those things no longer serve them. Think about the courage it takes to sit in the uncomfortable space between the old life and the new one, trusting that something better is forming in the gap. That is not weakness. That is one of the most powerful things a human being can do. And that is what your person is doing for you. Even before the two of you have found each other in the physical world, they are already choosing you with their actions. When they end a friendship that was pulling them backward, they are choosing you. When they step away from a situation that brought drama or confusion into their life, they are choosing you. When they say no to an invitation or an opportunity that would have distracted them from the peace they are building, they are choosing you every single time. Every quiet act of self-respect, every difficult goodbye, every moment of sitting alone with their own growth when it would have been so much easier to just go back to what was familiar. All of it is an act of love directed at you, even though you have not yet met face to face. The spiritual world works differently than the physical world. In the physical world, love tends to announce itself loudly. It shows up with declarations and gestures and things you can see and touch and point to. But in the spiritual world, love often moves in silence, prepares in the background. It does the invisible work that makes the visible love possible. And right now, there is an enormous amount of invisible work being done on your behalf. Your soulmate has already spoken to God about you, maybe not knowing your name or your face, but praying for the one who is coming, asking for clarity about this feeling that will not leave, asking for the strength to keep preparing even when the waiting is heavy, asking for confirmation that this is real, that what the heart feels is not just a beautiful wish but an actual promise from heaven. And the answers that have come back have not been doubt. The answers have been a deepening resolve, a quiet strengthening, a sense that yes, keep going, keep clearing, keep becoming. The one you are preparing for is real. And you are. You are as real as the air. You are as real as the love that is being cultivated for you right now in the heart of someone who has not yet held your hand but has already, in every way that matters, decided to be yours. Here is something beautiful the angels want you to sit with. Love, real love, lasting love, the kind that doesn't collapse under pressure or drift away when life gets complicated. That kind of love doesn't just happen to two people who stumble into each other unprepared. That kind of love is built. It is prepared for. It is made possible by the inner work that happens long before the relationship itself begins. The foundation is laid in the private hours, in the quiet seasons, in the moments when a person chooses their own healing even though no one is applauding them for it. Your soulmate is laying that foundation right now. Every wound they are choosing to look at honestly instead of burying. Every old pain they are releasing with forgiveness instead of holding on to with bitterness. Every unhealthy pattern they are replacing with something more aligned, more true, more whole. All of it is foundation work. It is slow, unglamorous, and deeply sacred. And it is all being done with you in mind, whether they can fully articulate that or not. This person has been reviewing their own story with honest eyes, looking at past relationships and asking what they brought to those situations, what patterns they carried, what they want to do differently. Not from a place of self-punishment, but from a place of genuine desire to grow. They have been forgiving people who once hurt them, not because forgiveness excuses what was done, but because carrying the weight of old grievances would only delay the life they want to live. And they have been doing something even harder than forgiving others. They have been forgiving themselves for the times they settled, for the times they stayed too long in the wrong places, for the times they were not yet ready to receive the love they deserved. All of it is being gently, honestly released, because they have understood something that changes everything once you truly understand it. You cannot pour new love into a container still full of old pain. You have to do the emptying first. And that emptying, that willingness to face what hurts, to grieve what was lost, to release what no longer belongs, that is not weakness. That is the most loving thing a person can do for the relationship they have not yet stepped into. That is your person right now doing that work. There will be days when this person feels the full weight of what they are going through. Days when the longing to just have the love they are preparing for presses in so heavily it almost takes the breath away. Days when the temptation to reach backward, to return to something familiar even though it no longer fits, is almost overwhelming. You should know that in those moments something holds steady, something that cannot be explained by mood or emotion alone. A deep, unshakable sense that the direction they are moving in is right, that the love they are reaching toward is real, that you are on the other side of this preparation, also growing, also becoming, also getting ready. That sense, that quiet, anchored certainty, is one of the most sacred gifts the divine gives to those who are walking the path of true preparation. It does not always look dramatic. It does not always feel like a lightning bolt of assurance. Sometimes it just feels like a breath, like a moment of stillness in the middle of a hard day where something inside says keep going. You are on the right path. The love you are preparing for is worth every step. And it is. You are worth every step. Now, beloved, here is something the angels want to speak to you about very tenderly. You may be wondering if you too are supposed to be doing something in this season, if there is preparation on your side as well. And the answer is yes, there is. Because this is not a story where one person does all the inner work and the other simply waits to be received. This is a story where two souls are being shaped simultaneously, in different places, through different experiences, but toward the same destination. And your part in that shaping matters just as much. Look at your own life right now. Are there things you have been holding onto out of fear or habit that no longer truly belong to the version of yourself you are becoming? Are there people you keep giving energy to even though those connections consistently leave you feeling drained or diminished? Are there thought patterns you return to about your own worth, your own lovability, your own readiness to receive a deep and genuine love? Thought patterns that are not actually true, but that you have been carrying for so long they feel true. The angels are asking you, gently but clearly, to look at those things, not with harsh judgment, not with a list of everything you need to fix before you are worthy of love. You are already worthy. That is not in question. But growth is not about worthiness, it is about readiness. And readiness is something you can actively participate in. Take care of yourself with the same love and intention that is being directed at you from across the spiritual distance. Release what you have been carrying that was never yours to carry. Forgive yourself for the chapters that did not go the way you hoped. Choose the friendships and spaces and habits that reflect who you truly are and who you are continuing to become. Set the boundaries you have been putting off. Say yes to what genuinely nourishes you. Say no with kindness and without guilt to what consistently diminishes your peace. Because here is the truth the angels want you to hold close. The meeting that is coming, the moment when this love moves from the spiritual into the physical and becomes something you can live inside every day, that meeting will be most beautiful when both people arrive having done their own work. Not perfect, not without scars or history or moments they wish had gone differently, but honest, healed in the places that most needed healing, open in the ways that matter most, present in their own lives in a real and grounded way. You are being prepared just as your soulmate is, and life is asking you right now to lean into that preparation with trust rather than resist it with impatience. The waiting is not punishment. The angels cannot say this to you strongly enough. The waiting is not the universe withholding something from you. The waiting is the universe making something possible for you that could not happen any faster without losing the depth and the stability that will make it last. True things take the time they need. Deep things cannot be rushed without becoming shallow. And what is being prepared for you, what is already alive in the spiritual and reaching toward expression in the physical, is something deep, something real, something built to last through every season of life, not just the beautiful ones. There will come a day when you look back at this exact period of your life and you will understand everything that seemed confusing now. You will see why certain relationships had to end. You will see why certain opportunities that seemed perfect at the time did not work out. You will see why the timing that felt agonizingly slow was actually, in hindsight, exactly right. You will see the hand of something divine in the details that you could not make sense of while you were living them. And you will feel a deep, quiet gratitude for every moment of the waiting, because you will see clearly that it was the waiting that made the arriving so complete. That day is coming. The angels see it. They see you in it. And they want you to carry the knowledge of it with you right now, even though you cannot yet see it for yourself. Let it be a lamp for the path you are walking through right now. Your soulmate is not standing still. Do not let the silence or the distance convince you of that. They are moving deeply, decisively, with more intention than you might imagine. They are stepping firmly away from every person and every situation that would take their focus off of what they are building. They are strengthening themselves emotionally and spiritually. They are practicing something that does not come easily to most people: the discipline of trusting in what they feel without needing immediate proof that it is working. They are learning to hold faith with an open hand, not grasping, not forcing, just trusting and continuing to prepare. This person has already thought about what life with you looks like, not in a vague, romantic haze, but in the specific details that tell you a feeling is real. The ordinary days, the routines built for two, the inside jokes that only the two of you would understand, the way it would feel to go through something hard and know you are not going through it alone, the particular piece of sharing a life with someone who truly sees you and chooses to stay. They have thought about all of it, and those thoughts have not frightened them. They have strengthened them. They have reminded them, again and again, that what they are working toward is worth everything they are letting go of to get there. That kind of love does not develop out of nothing. It does not arise from desperation or loneliness or the need to fill an empty space. It arises from something the soul recognizes as true, something that bypasses the calculating, strategic part of the mind and speaks directly to the part that simply knows. And your person knows. They have known for longer than they may have admitted to themselves. And that knowing is what has been guiding the choices that, from the outside, may look like loss, but from the inside, feel like finally moving in the right direction. The people who have drifted away from this person's life recently were not taken from them. They were released with care, often with grief, but with the clarity that comes from genuinely understanding that some connections, no matter how comfortable, are not aligned with where you are going. And going somewhere new requires being willing to travel light, to carry only what is true, to put down what was only ever filling a temporary space. Your soulmate is traveling light toward you, making themselves ready, making themselves whole, not because they were broken, but because whole things fit together in ways that last. There is something the angels want you to understand about spiritual timing. The human mind experiences time as a straight line. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. Linear, sequential, one thing at a time. But the spiritual realm does not work that way. In the spiritual, the connection between you and your person is not subject to the same rules. It is already whole. It is already real. It exists fully in the dimension where time does not divide things into past and future, but holds everything together in a living, breathing present. The love between you is already complete there, already vibrant, already certain. What is happening in the physical world, the waiting, the preparation, the slow and tender work of becoming ready, that is simply the process by which what already exists in the spiritual becomes visible in the world you can see and touch. The love is not waiting to become real. It is real. It is simply waiting to arrive in a form you can hold in your hands. And it is coming. Every day that passes, every choice your soulmate makes that clears more space, every step you take in your own growth, every act of self-love and boundary setting and honest releasing on both sides, all of it is closing the distance. Not just the physical distance, but the inner distance. The gap between who you each were when you were living in fear or habit or unhealed pain, and who you are becoming as you each do the real, courageous work of becoming ready for each other. The angels want to tell you something that may surprise you. Your soulmate has had moments of doubt, moments of wondering if this feeling they carry, this deep, persistent, unshakable sense of love moving toward a specific kind of future, is real, or if they have been somehow deceived by their own longing. Those moments of doubt are not signs that the love is not real. They are signs that this person is human. They are signs of someone taking this seriously, someone who cares enough about the love they want to live that they do not allow themselves to move toward it carelessly or without honest reflection. But even in the moments of doubt, something always brings them back. A dream that carries your energy. A quiet inner voice that says this is real. Keep going. A moment of clarity that arrives without warning and leaves behind it a renewed sense of purpose and direction. The divine does not leave the sincere heart without guidance. And your person's heart is sincere. It is genuinely, completely sincere. They are not playing games. They are not testing anyone. They are doing the honest, difficult, sacred work of preparing to love you the way you deserve to be loved. And you deserve to be loved the whole way. Not halfway, not conditionally, not with one foot out the door and one eye on what else might be available. You deserve to be loved with full presence, full commitment, full truth. You deserve someone who chose you consciously, deliberately, with complete awareness of what that choice means. Not someone who simply defaulted to you because nothing better came along. That is what is coming for you. A love that is a choice made every day by someone who knows exactly what they are choosing. Now the angels want to speak gently to the parts of you that have been afraid. because they see those parts too. They see the places where past experiences have left marks. The times you opened yourself to love and were met with something less than what you gave. The times you trusted and were disappointed. The times you hoped and watched that hope not come to fruition. Those experiences were real. The marks they left are real. And the angels do not ask you to pretend they did not happen or to simply push past the wounds without honoring them. What the angels ask instead is this: do not allow those past experiences to become the story you tell about your future. Because your future is not a repeat of your past. Your future is not written by the people who did not know how to love you well. Your future is written by something much greater, something that has been working on your behalf this entire time, even through the disappointments, even through the pain, even through the seasons when love felt more like a wound than a gift. Your future is written by a love that knows your name, that knows your worth, that has been preparing itself for you with a seriousness and a tenderness you will recognize the moment you step into it. You are not too much. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not too anything. You are exactly right, exactly as you are still becoming, for the love that has been destined for you since before you drew your first breath. Let that settle somewhere deep inside you and stay there. Your soulmate does not want a sanitized, perfect, never struggled version of you. They want you real, layered, honest, imperfect, and beautiful in the way that real people are beautiful. They want the version of you that laughs too loud sometimes and overthinks things and has bad days and is working through fears just like they are. They want a partner, not a performance. And they are becoming someone who knows how to be a partner in return. Someone who shows up honestly. Someone who chooses you with full information rather than with idealized fantasy. This love is being built on truth. That is one of the most important things the angels want you to take away today. Not on fantasy, not on pretend, not on the careful presentation of only the most flattering parts of each person. On truth. On the honest, open-hearted willingness to be seen fully and to see fully in return. And that kind of love, built on truth, is durable in ways that fairy tale love is not. It does not shatter when reality shows up. It deepens. It grows stronger under pressure. It becomes more itself over time rather than fading into disappointment. That is what is heading toward you. Something that will not disappoint you by turning out to be less than it seemed. Something that, if anything, will continue to reveal itself as deeper and more beautiful the more of it you experience. So what do you do right now, in this in-between season while you are still preparing and your person is still preparing and the meeting that changes everything has not yet happened? The angels have a few tender things to say to you about that. First, trust the timing. Even when it frustrates you, even when it feels like things should be moving faster, trust that the divine is not slow because it is indifferent to your longing. It is taking the time it needs because what it is building is worth the care it is taking. Rushing a foundation does not make the house stand faster. It makes it fall sooner. What is being laid for you and your soulmate is a foundation that is meant to hold. Let it be laid properly. Second, invest in yourself. Not as a way of distracting yourself from the waiting, but as a genuine act of love toward yourself and toward the future you are being prepared for. Do the things that make you feel alive. Pursue what genuinely matters to you. Develop the parts of yourself that have been waiting for attention and energy. Build a life that feels full and meaningful. Not a life that is simply on hold until love arrives. The love that is coming will not complete a half-lived life. It will join a full one and make it even richer. Third, stay open to signs. The divine speaks in many languages. Dreams that feel unusually vivid and real. unexpected moments of peace or clarity, encounters with strangers that carry an inexplicable sense of meaning, songs that find you at exactly the right moment with exactly the right words, numbers or symbols that keep appearing in ways that feel too consistent to be random. The angels are communicating with you constantly, through every channel available. Practice the art of noticing, of receiving, of saying thank you for the small confirmations that you are seen, that you are held, that you are loved by something infinitely larger than your fears. Fourth, be gentle with yourself on the hard days. There will be hard days, days when the waiting feels like too much, days when the loneliness is sharp and the hope is thin and you wonder if any of this is real. On those days, do not punish yourself for feeling what you feel. Do not demand that you rise above your humanity. Simply let yourself feel it, then gently return to what you know. You are loved. You are being prepared for something beautiful. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are deeply, completely, actively held. The angels are here with you on those days most of all. Their presence does not require your strength or your positivity or your ability to feel hopeful on command. They are simply with you, in the hard days as much as the good ones, in the grief as much as the joy, in the moments of doubt as much as the moments of certainty. You are never, not for a single breath, alone in this. Before this message goes deeper into your heart, pause and check the channel name carefully. Some people are stealing and reposting our content, but copied messages do not carry the same positive spiritual energy. Stay connected to the original source, Angel's Message for You channel with the black logo base. And now, let your angels speak to you. Your great love is coming, not as an empty promise offered to keep you pacified, not as a vague spiritual notion with no real substance, as a real, living, breathing, fully human person who has been doing their own sacred work, who has been having their own conversations with heaven, who has been feeling the same pull, the same unexplainable sense of reaching towards something just ahead, the same deep knowing that something extraordinary is in the making. When your paths finally cross, when what has been real in the spiritual for so long becomes visible and tangible in the physical, it will not feel random. It will feel like recognition, like something inside you taking a long breath and saying, "There you are. I have been preparing for exactly you." That moment is coming. The angels see it. They carry it for you on the days when you cannot carry it for yourself. They hold the vision of it with love and certainty and the complete, peaceful confidence of those who know that what is written in heaven cannot ultimately be prevented by anything in the world below. Stay faithful to your own journey. Stay tender with your own heart. Stay curious and open and willing to receive the love that is already yours in every dimension that matters, making its way toward you in the one where you currently live. You are adored, beloved, by the angels who walk beside you, by the love that is preparing itself for you, by the divine that thought of you before you were born and has never, not for a single moment, stopped holding you in perfect care. This is not the end of something. This is the most important beginning, and you are ready for it. More ready than you know, more loved than you can fully comprehend, and more held than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. The angels are with you now. They will be with you tomorrow. They will be with you in the moment when everything you have been waiting for finally arrives and every season of preparation reveals itself as the exact, perfect, necessary road that led you home. May your heart stay open. May your spirit stay strong. May every fear that has tried to convince you that love is not for you be gently and permanently released. And may the peace that passes understanding rest upon you today, tomorrow, and in every moment that follows. until the love that was written for you arrives, and you step into it with a whole and open heart, exactly as you always deserved. The angels love you, heaven holds you, and what is truly yours cannot be lost. End of text. There is one more thing the angels want to leave with you before this message draws to a close. Something simple, but something that matters more than almost anything else you could carry with you today. You are not waiting because you are unworthy of love. You are preparing because you are worthy of love that lasts. Say that again to yourself. Let it move past the surface of your thinking and go somewhere deeper. You are not in this season of waiting because something is wrong with you. You are in this season of preparation because the love that is coming for you is not the quick, surface-level kind that burns bright for a moment and then leaves you emptier than before. It is the kind of love that requires a foundation. It is the kind of love that requires two people who have chosen to become ready for it. It is the kind of love that will still be growing, still deepening, still choosing 20 years from now. That kind of love does not arrive before its time. Cannot. Because it needs the ground to be prepared in order to take root and hold. And the ground is being prepared on both sides, with every honest decision, every act of release, every quiet morning spent choosing growth over comfort, every evening spent trusting the process even when the evidence of progress is invisible to the human eye. Your soulmate is out there right now, somewhere in this world, going through their own version of exactly this. Feeling the pull of something they cannot yet fully name. Making choices that other people around them do not always understand. Saying no to things that would have once seemed fine, because something inside has shifted and the old standards no longer apply. Saying yes to their own healing in ways that are sometimes lonely and always courageous. And they think about you, not always with words and not always with a clear picture of who you are. But they think about what you represent, the love they are building toward, the life they are imagining, the person who will one day understand exactly why they made every difficult choice they made during this season. They picture telling you about it someday. They picture you understanding. They picture you smiling at them with the particular warmth of someone who went through their own version of the same thing, and recognizing each other fully in that shared experience of having prepared, having trusted, having kept going even when it was hard. That conversation is coming. That moment of recognition is coming. The angels hold it with such tenderness. It is one of their favorite things. The moment when two prepared hearts finally step into the same room, look at each other, and feel the click of something falling into place that was always meant to be there. You will have that moment. It is yours. It has your name on it. And nothing, not time, not distance, not the fears that have whispered otherwise, can take it from you. Until that day, you are held. You are loved. You are seen. And you are never, ever walking this path alone. The angels want to speak for just a little while longer, because there are things your heart still needs to hear. Things that have been waiting to be said to you for longer than you might realize. You have carried so much, perhaps more than most people around you have ever known. There are worries you have held quietly, not wanting to burden anyone with the full weight of them. There are hopes you have tucked away carefully because allowing yourself to feel them fully felt too risky. There are moments of longing you have experienced in the most private parts of your inner world. That specific ache that comes when you imagine a love you have not yet lived, when you catch a glimpse of the life you are meant for and feel both drawn toward it and afraid you will not find it. The angels have seen all of it. They have never once looked away, and they want you to know that none of it, not a single ounce of what you have carried, has been wasted. Every prayer, whether spoken aloud or simply felt in the chest without words. Every wish made without knowing if anyone or anything was listening. Every moment of choosing to believe in love despite the evidence life had sometimes given you to doubt it. Every time you kept your heart open when closing it would have been so much easier and so much safer. All of it was heard. All of it was received. All of it is part of the story that is being written for you, and it is a good story. It is a love story in the truest sense. Not a perfect story, but a true one. Not a story without pain, but a story where the pain serves the growth and the growth serves the love. You are closer than you feel. That is one of the most important things the angels carry for you today. The distance between where you are and where you are going feels enormous from the inside of the journey, but from the outside, from the perspective that can see the whole arc at once, it is not so vast. In fact, the most important pieces are already in place. The inner shifts that needed to happen are happening. The releasing that needed to occur is occurring. The preparation on both sides is further along than either of you fully knows. You are in the final stretch of a season that has asked a great deal from you, and what is waiting on the other side of it is everything you have been reaching toward. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on love. Do not allow the length of the waiting to convince you that the arriving is not real. The most extraordinary things in the natural world take the longest to fully form. The deepest roots grow most slowly. The strongest foundations are laid with the most care. What is being built for you has been given the time it needed to be built correctly, which means when you step into it, you will not have to wonder how long it will hold. You will be able to feel in your bones that it is solid, that it is true, that it was made to last. The person whose heart is prepared for you is not a dream. They are not a symbol or a metaphor. They are a real, breathing, living person who wakes up in the morning and makes coffee and sometimes struggles and sometimes laughs out loud at things that are maybe not that funny and sometimes lies awake at night with a particular feeling in their chest that they cannot quite name but that always, without fail, points in your direction. They are human and imperfect and beautifully, completely real. And they are yours. Let that be enough for today. Let that truth be the thing you carry with you when you leave the space and return to your daily life. Not as something you need to figure out or analyze or worry about, simply as something you hold gently, the way you would hold something precious that you trust completely. Your love is real. Your love is coming. Your love is already choosing you with every act of silent, sacred preparation. You are so deeply, completely loved. By the angels who walk alongside you every day. By the divine that holds your name in a light no darkness can reach. By a love that exists in the spiritual right now and is finding every possible way to make itself real in the world you can see and touch and live inside. Stay faithful. Stay open. Stay gentle with yourself and trusting of the timing that knows better than any human impatience what is truly needed. And know with the full quiet confidence of someone who has received a message from heaven today, that what is meant for you is already yours. The angels bless you as you go from this message back into your day. May you carry something different with you than you carried when you arrived. May you feel, even just a little more than before, the reality of the love that is surrounding you and moving steadily toward you. May the seeds of trust planted here today find good soil in your heart and grow into a peace that genuinely sustains you through every remaining day of this season. You are a precious, beloved, irreplaceable soul, and the love that is coming for you knows that, has always known it, and is finding its way to you right now, one honest choice and one sacred step at a time. With infinite love, always. Amen.